Good day and a late Happy New Year to everyone on the internet. Before we get carried away by New Year's resolutions and whatnot, let us reflect on that single issue that reshaped the global trade and political landscape in 2025. I mean the Trump's tariffs. In April 2025, the United States quietly did something it had not done in decades. It imposed tariffs on almost every one of its trading partners. I'm talking about allies, rivals, neutral countries, and yes, even the remote island populated only by penguins was not spared. The announcement was not framed as a temporary measure or a bargaining chip. It was described as a reset, a new economic order. There were mixed reactions about the tariffs. Due to tariffs, my 401k is now 301k. If your work laptop look like this, your company will survive the tariffs. Yes, Trump tariffs will hurt United States consumers in the short run, but you should focus on the long term where it will hurt them. The best part of Trump tariffs announcement was when he defined reciprocal. Nobody likes defining a word like someone who just learned what the word means. No one is safe, not even penguins. Breaking, China has rebranded to avoid American tariffs. 47% tariff on Madagascar. People reacted to these tariffs. Markets reacted, and even governments around the world followed.
President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the European Union is a major blow.
Nobody wins in a trade war.
Action that the Trump administration has taken today against every nation in the world.
I strongly believe that tariffs benefit no one. They're bad for the world economy.
But months later, the real question is not whether the tariffs were bold. It is whether they actually change anything in the way the world trades or just how nervous it feels while doing it. To put this in context, let me tell you what happened. In April 2025, President Trump announced sweeping import tariffs covering nearly all United States trading partners.
If you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariff.
The goal was pretty straightforward. Reduce trade imbalances and push manufacturing back to the United States, blah blah blah. Unlike earlier trade disputes that targeted specific countries or industries, this move was broad. It treated long-standing allies and strategic competitors the same way. The message was simple. If you sell in the American market, you pay more to do so. The administration framed this as a matter of economic defense. But critics beg the difference. To critics of the administration, it is basically the government taxing American companies and the consumers. What made the move more unusual was how quickly it shifted from economic debate to legal uncertainty. Almost immediately, challenges emerged questioning whether the president even had the authority to impose tariffs of this scale without congressional approval. But that question now sits in the Supreme Court of the United States. The first visible effect of the tariff was not factory construction or job growth. It was volatility. Stock markets react sharply. Investors try to price in higher costs, disrupted supply chains, and potential retaliation from abroad. The result was instability, not collapse. No economic boom, no recession either. Everything was like a standstill, and that is important. Despite the dramatic framing, the tariffs did not trigger an immediate transformation of the United States economy. Manufacturing did not surge, consumer spending did not cater. Instead, the economy absorbed the shock unevenly and cautiously. For business, the tariff became another variable to manage. For consumers, they showed up slowly in higher prices on certain goods rather than sudden economic pain. Internationally, the response was measured, not explosive. Some countries criticized the policy openly, others waited. Few rushed into full-scale retaliation. That restraint was not approval, it was about uncertainty. Many governments treated the tariff less as a permanent shift and more as a negotiating posture. The question was not how do they respond, but how long does this last? At the same time, the move changed the diplomatic tone. Trade discussion became more transactional. Alliances felt less automatic. Even friendly nations began reassessing how exposed they were to US economic decisions. If you view it in that sense, you would agree with me that the tariffs mattered politically more than economically. They indicated that access to the United States market was no longer something partners could take for granted. One of the most unusual aspects of this moment is that the entire policy may hinge on a legal decision that has yet to be made. If the Supreme Court of the United States rules that the tariffs exceeded presidential authority, the economic consequences would not disappear overnight, but the political message would change dramatically. What was presented as a structural shift becomes a temporary disruption. That uncertainty has shaped behavior on all sides. Businesses hesitate to relocate supply chains, government hesitate to overreact? So far, the answer is mixed. The tariffs have not rewritten global trade flows. They've not sparked a manufacturing renaissance or a collapse, but they've altered expectations. Trade now feels more conditional. Politics weighs more heavily on economies, and the idea that globalization runs on autopilot has taken another hit. Whether this moment becomes a turning point or a footnote depends less on the tariff themselves and more on what follows. So what follows, we are talking about court rulings, government of nations negotiating, and whether future administrations after Donald Trump would treat this as a precedent or an exception. But one thing we should know is that Trump's tariff did not break the global economy, but they reminded the world who still has the leverage when it comes to trade. So what do you think about Trump's tariff in general? Do you think it is more economical than political? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment below. Thank you and see you in my next video.